Well, greetings and welcome back, blade lovers. This old sword with you, and something brand new just out from Bestech Knives. You may have seen these or you may not. Let's give you a preview there. There's the name. There's the ever familiar Bestech pouch. Very similar to what we see from Wee Knives and many others. So this is a tiny little guy. Look at that. This is the Strelit, if I'm pronouncing that right. And this is part of the Bouquet series by Bestech Knives, designed by Ostap Hel, very well-known designer for real steel. He's the person responsible for the front flippers from real steel and so many other knives. This one happens to be in a beautiful Damascus steel. And did I get this as a user? No, not really. I got this because it's so darn good looking and unusual. And there are 10 varieties of this. You can look them up on White Mountain Knives. So this, as you can see, becomes a push dagger with a talon. This one's in Damascus and a bronzed titanium handle. You can also get these in S35VN, and you can get them in M390 where they put a carbon fiber and other types of inserts in the handles. Whatever your particular fashion needs are, we might say, you can get it. Let's put the Strelit down there and see if I can give you a little bit of a background. I found a good article in Knife News. We'll do some comparisons and what have you. An unusual knife for sure. Reading from Knife News, Ostap Hel's Bestech Bouquet is getting its third flower soon, and of course that's now, in the form of the Strelit. Like the two previous models of the series, the Strelit takes its inspiration from real-world plant, but it takes that inspiration in a very different direction than either. So this is pretty wordy. I'm not going to read all of it, but it has a 1.23-inch blade of a hawkbill design, big sweeping curves in the handle, and it is to emulate the Bird of Paradise flower, very interestingly. And you can find this Knife News article. It tells you a lot about it. The previous two, so this is the third in the Bouquet collection. Previous two are the Tulip and the Ivy by Bestech, and you can look those up. They're inspired. The Tulip was inspired by the Japanese Kiridashi, and the Ivy is a larger knife with an elongated hawkbill blade. Okay, so there you have the background on this knife. And yes, it is a frame lock with a hardened steel insert. It does have a pocket clip. Fairly deep carry. We'll start with the weight. It's extremely light. .67 ounces, 675 ounces. With a blade thickness, let's go right down the line. I don't even need to open it for this, so be a little safer that way. Blade thickness, if I can get it in here. I can back out a little bit. Blade thickness of 3.5 millimeters. Handle thickness of 0.46 inches. And a handle length. Closed position. Go from here. I'm going to call it 3 inches. I gave you the blade earlier. I think they said 1.23, something like that. Calling it 1.5 inches. If you go from the handle, which isn't really going to matter, it's about 2 1/8. Because the only part when you're holding it correctly between the first and middle fingers is the blade, just that hawk's bill. And again, if you don't like Damascus, you've got 2 other options: S35VN with the titanium handle, or M390 with the titanium handle with the inset. And again, you can find all of these out on White Mountain Knives. You can use my discount code OLDSWORD for 10% off. This one was about $170 at White Mountain. Less 10%, you take $17 off. So, you know, you're getting down closer to $150 or so. This absolutely may not be your cup of tea, but because look at the size. Yes, it's small, but you know, if you didn't get it in the fancy Damascus and you got it in a smaller version, look at that, hides right in your hand. But once you have it here, that's locked into your hand. It is going nowhere. So if you're looking for last ditch kind of defensive stuff, you can do that. I mean, you have both a forward motion and a downward motion, outward motion. Nifty little thing. So I would call this both a work of art as well as a possible Marshall Blade concepts, defensive use, etc. Let's look at a similar concept of knife and very organic knife. Here we have another Bestech. This came out a while ago. This is the Irida. And the Irida is by Kambu. I don't know if it's an apt comparison or not, but they're both kind of organic, copied after nature sorts of blades. Kambu is very well known for that. So that is the Irida. And another one, I'm not sure if it fits or not, but this is also by Bestech, is the recently released knife also by Kambu. That one is the Samari by Kambu. Obviously a much bigger knife, but still very light. This one I believe is Bowler M390. So final look at the Strelit. If you're into this sort of thing, we'll give you one more look around. Again, this is the Damascus. If you're looking for more of a functional knife at about the same price, you can get it in S35VN. If you want a higher end, you can go M390 with the titanium and the inlay. What else do we need to know about the knife? It's wide open construction with a single pillar on the end. It is interesting. Looks like it's inset there. We're going to call it right side only tip up carry. Totally unusual, even in the way you have to handle it. Lots of jimping, which is, another possible way to hold this guy would be with your thumb on that jimping. And it could be a useful work knife, carpet cutter, what have you. Probably wouldn't choose the Damascus for that. Then again, you might. Hardened steel insert, as I said. You can open it this way as well. So it's sort of, I would say, dual purpose. You can use the flipper, or you can just hook your finger in there and open it that way. A little bit of reposition change, takes a second to get it into the between the fingers mode. But a very beautiful Damascus on this. I thought because of its delicateness that the Damascus sort of fit. As soon as I saw it in the Damascus version, I knew that was the one I wanted. And again, this is the bronze titanium. I'm not going to run down all the colors it comes in. You can check those out at White Mountain. But there you have it. Something brand new from Bestech, just out. The Bestech Strelit by Ostap Hel Designs. This old sword. Signing out. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.